Hello and welcome to this Monday afternoon taste challenge. This is for May, October 24th, 2022. We have two V.S.O.P brandies, 80 proof. One is from Ukraine and one is from Missouri in the United States. This is Odessa V.S.O.P, and it is produced in Odessa, Ukraine, the port city, famous port city, and it is produced at a distillery called V.S.O.P. Well, it's owned by V.S.O.P, the family, but the actual name of the distillery is Odessa Cognac Distillery, Odessa Cognac Distillery, but the website is VSOP.com. $11.99 for this regular size bottle. There is also a bottle. I don't know which one is the newer label or if it's just alternative labels. Got the blue here, but the Global Spirits USA website is showing the blue, so I'm figuring that's the label, maybe from the last year. B Aviation says, "Hey Ron, hey to you, B Aviation." Now here's Delacour. Showing a crown, but there's no king of Missouri. Napoleon brandy, V.S.O.P. So they're both very smooth old pale, or some people say very special old pale. 40% alcohol, bottled by Luxco of St. Louis, Missouri. Now it doesn't say it's from Missouri, it just say bottled by them in Missouri. Could it be from California? Could be from New York. Could be from Texas. I doubt that. All right. Does this bottle look like they're trying to maybe copy from somebody else's label? Look at that carefully. Does that remind you of something? Anybody want to take a guess? $11.99 for this liter bottle. $11.99 for a liter. So this is the cheaper one. You get 25% more for the same price. I bought this at Savannah discount on Louisiana Highway 45 northbound in Marrero, Louisiana. Do they still sell it there? I don't know. They might still have some. I bought this at Total Wine and More in Metairie, Louisiana on Veterans Boulevard, but they were out. Last time I checked, they had sold it all. People saw it was from Ukraine, so they bought it up. And they had a lot of it too, back in February and March. Okay. I put a link below, and it specifically takes you to their production process at Odessa. V.S.O.P Distillery, established 1863. Now, Luxco's not as old, but they have their own Kentucky bourbon distillery now called Luxco Distilling. They used to have a lot of their stuff contract made, but they do a lot of their own distilling now. Delacour, only saw it at that one Louisiana store for the Delacour. Now I will pour. I told you in other videos that there's about 5 or 6 French Quarter, New Orleans French Quarter fancy restaurants that have this offered on happy hour. Don't know why they're featuring Delacour brandy cocktails, but they are. Galatoire's, I think Court of Two Sisters, Hermes Bar d'Antoine's, Gautreau's, that's 4. Maybe Two Jack's Bar. Poured a little bit too much. Well, it's pretty much even. Yeah, I had the glass. It's pretty much even. They both have. Now I noticed the Odessa has a little more uniform alcohol legs, but they're both copper colored. D'Angelo Terrell 22 says, which one is the best to drink with? Which is the better one to drink with soda and juice? Probably a tie, but V.S.O.P means age 4 to 6 years. That's usually what that means. Not a legal term. It has no legal bearing in the United States, but it's a general term that's followed by most brandy companies. That VS is your standard version, age 2 to 4 years. So if you get a VS, it's usually their cheapest one. V.S.O.P is your mid-range. All right, so the VS is the Ford. The V.S.O.P is the Mercury. It's age 6 years. And like they say on the V.S.O.P and Odessa brandy site, it's aged at least 4 years. And the XO, if you find an XO brandy, it's usually like the Lincoln. It's the expensive one, aged 6 to 10 years. I have an XO here at the house. I have Saint-Remy XO. Now look what it says for Delacour on the Luxco website. It says Delacour, brandy. Delacour, registered trademark, don't try to use the name, is a delicious brandy. I don't know why they capitalize brandy. It's a common noun. It's not a proper noun. Is a delicious brandy crafted delicately to create the perfect liqueur. So they're saying it should be used to create your own liqueur. You could do that. Now, V.S.O.P says they at the same latitude as Cognac, France. Cognac is the 45th degree latitude and Odessa is 46, so they're close. They said they're near the village of Velikodolinskoye. The previous name was Gross Liebenthal, the Valley of Big Love. That's a German name. I wonder why I had a German name. I know they had some Germans that lived in the Russian Empire as immigrants. Climate, proximity to the sea, optimal number of sunny days, 290. They have soft, clean, oxygen-enriched air. Coasts up to 70 meters high, ensure protection from the wind. So they have a hilly coastline. Average annual temperature is plus 11.9 Celsius, 1 Celsius in winter and 25 in the summer. So it's cool. Favorable for wine-making fertile soil. The cover was formed in the Neogene period 2 million years ago. There's a fertile layer, ordinary ashen gray soils and southern black soils. Humus layer, less than 30 centimeters. Limestone deposits. The cognacs receive special flavors due to soil peculiarities. This is how extensive this website is. I mean, you better have a few hours on your hands to look at V.S.O.P. They're the largest distillery in Europe. Imported from the best vine nurseries of France and Germany. That's where they get their wine. From France and Germany. Sauvignon, white Sauvignon, Chardonnay, and Aligot. They space 3 meters apart. The rows are spaced 3 meters apart. Rose bushes grow nearby to get sick first in case of disease. Okay, so they grow rose bushes close by because they get sick first, and that'll be a warning that the vineyard can get infected. Production process, fermentation, squeeze the grapes, press the juice out, yield the juice, the must. It's sent for fermentation for 3 weeks. Young white dry wine, Blanc de Blanc, white of white, with a high acidity and alcohol degree of 8 to 9% is produced as a result. So you got this raw wine. They distill it. Europe's largest spirit distilling shop. They call it a shop, but a factory. Charente stills are used. They have 2 distillations. 36 hours total. Volume reduction, 10 liters of young wine per 1 liter of cognac spirit. So it takes 10 liters of wine to make a liter of cognac. Deadline of harvest distillation, March 31st of the next year. Then they show a Charente still, what it looks like. First fractional distillation, yielding of Brouillis, absolutely transparent raw spirit with alcohol degree of 27 to 32%. Second fractional distillation. They get a cognac spirit, the heart, they call it, quote unquote, the heart, with the alcohol degree of 69 to 72%. Then they age it. From 3, their youngest cognac is aged 3 years, up to 50 years, 15,000. They own 15,000 barrels. The Angel's share, evaporating through pores of the barrels, is 2% of the world reserves, or about 20 million bottles a year. Keynotes. Palette includes more than 300 flavors. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but centenary oak from the French forests of Limousin and Troisnay. Sealant. They use flower and cane leaves. So they seal the barrels with flour. Can you imagine? It's flour and cane leaves. They say the oldest barrels are the best. Some barrels that they use are over 100 years old. They don't use a single nail. They don't use nails. Cognac is produced in the process of mixing cognac spirits of different ages. So it's all blended, different ages. And the age of ready cognac is determined by the minimum age of spirits comprising the blend. And then one more thing, they mix cognac spirits of the same age. Then they mix cognac spirits of different ages. Then they rest in oak barrels for at least 1 year. But in this case, this product is 4 years old. And then they tell you what VS, V.S.O.P, V.S.O.P, and XO stand for. Okay, so it's very informative. Tyler Mansell says, clinking the beer glasses. All right, so I'll probably bored people to death reading that, but it's interesting to me, you know. I love reading about that stuff. Very involved. Now, has the invasion, the Russian attack on Ukraine affected the distillery? I'm sure it has. I don't know how seriously. Sure, it was a pretty bad situation. But they survived the First World War when they were invaded and occupied by Germany. In the Second World War, they were also invaded and occupied by Germany. And now this current thing. And I don't think they ever stopped production. I think they were producing all along. Even the invaders like to drink, you know. Okay, cheers. You know, they don't want to stop the distillation. I think a lot of the beer companies in Europe, when they had these various invasions, they kept brewing. Unless they were bombed, like Varsh, I think Wernesgrüner was bombed in 1944. They kind of affected their production. Yeah. You see, the grapes are white, so it's not going to get caramel color from grapes. It will get it from the wood, but it mainly gets it from adding caramel coloring. If you didn't add the coloring, it would be very pale. Taste wouldn't change, but people, they expect cognac or brandy to be caramel or copper, so they color it. This one has a little bit more caramel in the nose, and maybe what's that aroma I was saying? I don't know, like some kind of marshmallow or something. It's weird, huh? All right. Are y'all ready for me to taste them? Are you ready? Everybody ready? Tannins from the grape skins, maybe grape leaves. There's sweet sugar candy notes. Like, you ever ate a Rieslings or a what those things called from Europe? Werther's Originals. It tastes kind of like that. Butterscotch. Yeah. Weird, huh? Could that result just from the grapes being distilled? I mean, the grapes are fermented into wine, and then the wine is distilled into cognac. Remember, that's the steps. Grapes, then wine, and you could stop there and just sell wine, and then cognac or brandy. In this case, neither one of these are cognac, even though the company claims they make cognac. They're not in France. They can't legally make cognac, but it's the same thing anyway. So Now see, this one here, Tyler, if you ever want to examine anything again, let us know. We haven't seen you in so long. I know you caught up and wrapped up in different things that you're doing out there in Washington State, but people always wanted to keep doing the videos with you. This one here, like I said, has more of a grape flavor. It's just grapes. I don't mean purple grapes, red grapes. No, not really. No, not at all. White grapes. So if you like white wine, you might like this. Now people ask me, what's your favorite wine? I say, I don't know. I like all wines. I'm serious. Like my neighbor across the street, she's the most pickiest person, you know, like, oh, I got to have Pinot Grigio. And it's got to be certain brands too. She's like so picky, which is her right. She's buying it. She can be as picky as she wants to be. It doesn't bother me. And it shouldn't bother me. But if you ask me, I would say, oh, I like them all, you know. Is that indicating that I had poor taste? It could be. Could be. And that she might have a better taste for wine. But maybe it's because I have a more open-minded approach. You know, it's hard to say. Maybe I just like more stuff than her. Because I like all these different styles of wine. Dark, medium, rosé, white. You know what I mean? I just like them all. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not sorry. I'm sorry if you take issue with it. So this one has more of a candy flavor. I like the flavor now. Don't get me wrong. But it tastes like they might be adding a flavoring to it. Is that allowed? Well, it's obviously allowed. I'm looking at it. I bought it. It's here. It's in the house. It's obviously allowed. Unless I'm wrong and it's not flavor added. But it tastes like there's butterscotch added to it. Or like they say with the Hartley V.S.O.P brandy, drizzled rum cake. I don't know about the drizzled rum cake, but it's something like that. It's strange, but good. Strange, but good. Butch Willis says, how's it going? Fine. If you're not doing well, that's okay. We all have bad days. No, I'm doing fine. What is your take on earthquake high gravity? I'm about to drink it right now. My take is that you're not going to like it. Okay. It's not really related to this video. Okay. All right. I think this is the I think this is the, what they call it, the Odessa. I think this is Odessa because it's got that butterscotch candy flavoring. To me, it seemed like it got butterscotch candy added to it. It is. Haha, I haven't gotten it wrong one single time. This is a perfect taste challenge series. I got it right every time. Every time I got it right. Now, oh, my shoulder hurts. Now, does that mean that that Odessa is better or worse than previous brandies? Was better than some for sure, but no, it's just kind of like most of the rest. It's $11.99, and there's so many brandies you could buy that's $9.99 to $11.99. I mean, even with this inflation, I was at Walmart a week ago and they had Parmesan. I think they had 3 different ones. I think Parmesan, Christian Brothers, and E&J for $9.99 each. I'm talking about the VS now. Are those really good? No, they're kind of okay. That's why they're $9.99. If you get the V.S.O.P, they're going to be like $14.99. Or I don't know, $12.99, something like that. But these I can't get either one of these in this town. If I shop all around this town, which is not that big of a town, 29,000 people, I can't get them. All right. I had to, like I said, I had to go to all the way to Metairie. So these don't even have any relative, any relevance to my town because I can't get them. I can easily get Christian Brothers, not the V.S.O.P here, just the V. I can get the V.S.O.P in Metairie. I could even get their Sacred Bond, the Bottle and Bond Christian Brothers. Well, that's expensive, but it's 100 proof. It's really special. Oh, but I mean, don't worry. I could get a lot of brandies in this town. I wouldn't run out anytime soon. I'm just saying these two specifically, I cannot get. I'm going to go with Delacour as the winner, though. It has a more authentic flavor, and I like it a little better. Not way better. It's just like grapes. Grape wine, distilled grape liquor, like whiskey made out of grapes instead of grain, whereas whiskey is made out of grain instead of grapes, right? And I got 25% more for the same price. So I paid $11.99 for a liter, and I got more in it. The flavor is a little bit better. But no knock against Ukraine, no knock against Odessa. If you see it, yeah, I'd buy it. Yeah, no doubt. I wouldn't go much above this price point, but yeah. If you don't like butterscotch, though, you might want to avoid it. I'm drinking these neat at room temperature. It's warm today, about 80 degrees, 79, 78 now, and no ice, no water added, just neat. They're really good. Now, we're going off to rum. Brandy's over. So it's time for rum. Time for the rum diary. Time for rum. And I got a famous, well, maybe not famous in America, famous in Puerto Rico, Don Q Gold. That company was established in 1865. Don Q Gold versus all the other rums. I might take a little pit stop, though, and do another Seagram's 83 blended whiskey battle. Because in the last month, we have a new product in our area. It's called Seagram's 83. You say, well, I get Seagram's 7. Everybody gets that. But this is the new and unusual Seagram's 83, which has been in Canada for 39 years already, but it just showed up in the United States, and it's an American version. It's really got nothing to do with the Canadian version, except it has the same parent company and the same name. So I might do Seagram's 83 versus I don't know, one of the ones I have. Bellows blended whiskey. I already did the club whiskey. That was a good challenge. So let's say Bellows American blended whiskey. Always a good choice if you're on a budget. Comments, let's see. What's wrong with my shoulder? I don't know. It just aches. It hurts. Like I lifted too many things. It's not important. Earthquake tastes like apples and some kind of champagne and a mix and a shot of vodka. Yeah, it's pretty grim. It's a pretty grim product. If you drink 10 cans over a month, you'll notice one can will be good, like unusually good, and the other 9 will be bad. Then it'll be the same pattern. 1 good, 9 bad. Well, if 90% of your tastings are bad, yeah, don't buy it. Panthers Rule says, you to you. Dean Ford says, greetings from Dean 1987, Abita DRI. Greetings to you. Yes, Earthquake is not very good. It's bad. That's why I never buy it. The only thing good about, oh yeah, well, forget that, because there's no benefit to that. It's all right. So that's it. The winner, Delacour. And if you ever see Delacour, I'd buy it. You might say, I never heard of that, and I don't buy these weird off brands. Well, don't be too hasty. Luxco is not exactly a tiny company. You might have heard of Ezra Brooks. They make a pretty famous bourbon called Ezra Brooks. So, and they got some really, they bring in some really interesting tequilas. So I wouldn't be, they even have their own distillery that they kind of like bought down in Mexico. I think they collaborated with a family, but it's kind of under Luxco's control now. So I wouldn't be too hasty to judge. Is it a rum or a whiskey? What? I don't know what you're talking about. I would never say that. Say what? I don't know what they're talking about. All right. Anyway. Oh, well. Anyway. Thanks for watching, and see y'all tomorrow morning. That's the plan, at least, for Seagram's 83 versus Bellows.